Let's look at this set. In a tuition class of 8 students, teacher conducted a surprise test of 20 marks. When the mark sheets were distributed, it was found that exactly 2 students scored equal marks, which means exactly 2 students scored equal marks, which means mm, uh, there are 7 distinct scores available. One of those scores is getting repeated, but there are 7 distinct scores available that are given out to 8 people. Also, when each of the 8 students totaled the marks of 7 other students, the results obtained were 81, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, and X. Okay. Now see, utilize this piece of information. You have exactly 2 students. You have exactly 2 students who have got the same score. Now, let's say if there were 3 students and the scores obtained were 3, 4, and 4. See, 2 students. So if this fellow, A, B, and C, if A was calculating the marks of other 2, he will get 8. If B was calculating the marks of other 2, he will get 7. If C was calculating the marks of other 2, he will also get 7. Because these two have identical scores, because B and C and I have identical scores, scores of other people will also be identical to them. Scores of other people will also be identical to them. If you can see this, then in this list of scores of other people, can you see this X has to be one of these 7 values that are mentioned? This X has to be one of these 7 values. And what that value would be, can be figured out this way. See, let the scores of all the 8 kids be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. The scores of 8 kids is this much. So I'm going, when H is looking at scores of everyone else, A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H is equal to 81. This is when H is excluded. Now, if I exclude G, I will have A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus, sorry, I've done it for everyone there. No? This should not be H here. Okay, F plus H, and this is equal to 80. This is equal to 81. This is equal to 80. F, G, H. Let me exclude F now. So A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F, G plus H is equal to 79. Then E is excluded, then D is excluded, then C is excluded, then B is excluded, and then finally A is excluded. Let me write all of that down. A plus B plus C plus D plus F plus G plus H is equal to 78. A plus B plus C plus E plus F plus G plus H is equal to 77. A plus B plus C plus, sorry, C is excluded. I don't need to. I can turn this to D plus E plus F plus G plus H is equal to 76. Here I'll have 75. B is excluded, so A plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H. And finally, I have X when I have B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H. Okay, this is the list of equations. Although you don't need to write them down, I've written it down in case somebody had trouble visualizing it. Now, let's add all the LHS up. You'll get 7 times of A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G plus H, and this will be equal to sum of all the RHS. RHS is 546 plus X, 546 plus S, plus X, 546 because I'm checking it this way. This is an AP, decreasing AP with a common difference of -1. So 78 is the middle term. 78 into 7, 70 into 7 is 490, 8 into 7 is 56. So 490 plus 56 gets me to 546 plus X. We've got our summation here. Now see, LHS is telling me that the summation has to be a multiple of 7. 546, 546 is also a multiple of 7. In fact, it is 78 into 7. In fact, it is 78 into 7. If it is 78 into 7, LHS is a multiple of 7. So RHS has to be a multiple of 7. If LHS is a multiple of 7, RHS has to be a multiple of 7. One of the components of RHS is already a multiple of 7. So can I claim with absolute confidence X also has to be a multiple of 7? This has to be a multiple of 7. Now, we knew that X has to be one of the values present within these 6. Which of these is equal to 77? Only D. So X is nothing but 77. And as soon as we arrive at this location, as soon as we arrive at this, can we also get to the conclusion summation of these 8 will be equal to 623. 546 plus 77 is 623. And this whole thing divided by 7, which is equal to 89. Sum of scores of all 8 kids is 89. Sum of scores of all 8 kids is 89. What this enables me to get is, if sum of all kids apart from H was 81, H scored 8, G scored 9, F scored 10, E scored 11, D scored 12, C scored 13, B scored 14, and A scored 12. Pay attention, pay attention. All 8 kids add up to 89. If I exclude H from the consideration, sum of other 7 kids is 81, which means H must be contributing 8 to the sum. Similarly, sum of all 8 kids is 89. If I exclude G, sum of all other 7 kids is 80, which means G must be contributing 9 to the sum. Now we have all individual scores. Let's get to individual questions. What is the value of X? The value of X is 77. Next, what was the marks of the student who scored the lowest? Student who scored the lowest, he got 8 marks. What was the marks of the student who scored the highest? The highest marks obtained were 14. And last is find the arithmetic mean of the marks of the students who were among the top 4. Now the top 4 students are going to be these 4. These 4 are going to be top 4. So the summation 25 plus 26, 51 is their sum, divided by 4 gets me to 12.75, or option D will be the right answer. And that is the entirety of this set.